The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
On this edition of Straight Up 5, we welcome BrunsNick, Nick Smith, to the show. Nick is a digital media manager for all the brands of Brunswick. He is a podcaster, a YouTuber, a TikToker. Everyone knows Nick worldwide for his love and affection for Brunswick. We can't wait to have him on the show, so let's not wait any longer. Straight Up 5 starts now.
Ocho tells you exactly what's going on all the time.
Dr. Ocho, who the f*** is that?
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Electric here.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of Track Staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr. Ocho, and of course,
our good friend Mike Val.
Doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Dr. Ocho. Dr. Ocho. And our special guest co-host, Mike Val.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5. I am your host, Rad Rob, Rob Francois. This is episode number 179. Before we get to our very special guest, let me see who is here in the chat. Amanda Moore was here early. Wow. Thank you, Amanda. Good evening. Nick Craven's in the house. What's going on, Nick? Nate Craven. Nate says Nick. No, fuck. You know, my wife does that. She has trouble, like, if it's AR, like Adrian or Arian, she gets them fucked up, but apparently it just rubs off on me. Casey Custer. What's going on, Casey? 1 minute late? I wasn't 1 minute late. You might have 1 minute late. I was 1 minute late. I was right on time. Clifton Don's in the house. What's going on? Oh, Amanda with the $5 super chat. One of my favorite podcasts and one of my favorite guests. Thank you so much for that super chat. Y'all, we don't ever ask for money in the show, but if you want to donate to my cause, there's a little $sign gimmick down there at the bottom. You can donate to the show or not. We do this for free regardless. Who else we have here in the chat? Nico, our resident statistician. What's going on, brother?
I do.
Got an I do in the chat. Billy M, what's going on, brother?
I do.
Oh, who else is here? Clifton, Nate. All right. Popeye's chicken is the bomb. Amanda's never had Popeyes. Do they not have Popeyes in Idaho? I have to work on that. Regardless, so a little bit of housekeeping here. As you know, this show is going through quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, several months. But Dr. Ocho, unfortunately, is taking time off from the show. I won't get into it, but it is just personal stuff going on. As I kind of alluded to last week, I found out what was going on, and he's my buddy. I've been doing podcasts with him since 2020. So we've done various shows for the last 5 years, and I've always told him he's the lifeblood of this show. I can get any educated bowler to replace JP or anybody else, but Ocho brings a different dynamic, and he's the one I truly have fun with podcasting. So hopefully he comes back after the new year. But, I love you, Och, and I'm still going to keep you in the intro. I'll keep your seat warm until you get back. But and Mike Val is doing stuff for his daughter tonight. He may be able to pop in the car. He's driving his daughter round trip. That came up last minute, so hopefully he'll be back here next week. The Bowling Full 300. Loved the show last week with Max Rao. I appreciate that. He's such a good dude. We love Maximum Bob. Nick likes Olive Garden. So do I. I am a very big fan of Olive Garden. Curious to know, what would you say about Jersey getting soon? I'll be getting a TMNT jersey. Raphael specifically. Wonder if you guys think that would go hard. Absolutely. I'm an 80s kid, born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. I'm an absolute mark for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that would be a banger for sure. Casey says, I just had Popeyes yesterday, blackened chicken with coleslaw and make a salad with hot sauce dressing. They're blackened grilled chicken, I will say, which is what I eat now. Obviously, it doesn't look like it, but it is fire. It is absolutely fire. Is Chuck Ritchie here? There he is, Chuck. What's up, Chuck? What's going on, brother? Alumni of the show and longtime friend. As I threw up in the graphic, to be serious for a second, Ramsey Robles was a bowler and a student at Tennessee Wesleyan. And we mentioned on the show, I want to say it was back in March, was when we first learned that he had cancer. And we were pulling for him on the show. In fact, I was just thinking about him yesterday when I was going through some of the graphics that we had here, Rally for Ramsey. And I was just going to check out with his mom. And unfortunately, James Campbell, who was assistant coach, I believe, there at Tennessee Wesleyan, posted on Facebook just a little while ago that unfortunately had passed away. So thoughts and prayers go out to the Robles family and their friends and everyone at Tennessee Wesleyan. It's very unfortunate. 19-year-old kid taken from us way, way early. But thoughts and prayers go out legit to everybody involved. But that being said, I hate to follow this up with a funny bit because this is completely bad taste. But I mean, that's what I do. As we did last week, it's a new custom here. We're going to start off saluting our troops and everyone in the armed forces and pay homage to our country with the singing of the Star Spangled Banner.
Please rise for the presentation of our colors. The Peoria Firefighters Local 50 Honor Guard, Mark Hubner, Andre Harper, Terry Carter, and Chance Barlow. The flags, the Local 50 Firefighters from Peoria, and Old Glory, our American flag. Rolling Stone magazine called her the great female blues singer of her generation. To sing our national anthem, Grammy Award-winning artist Coco Taylor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hear? What so proudly led streaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the rampart we watch was so proudly lit gleaming, and the rocket red glare, bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the Star-Spangled Banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the free.
Oh, I didn't. That's the first time I heard it. And I didn't realize she forgot actual whole words to the verse. One of our greatest jazz singers of her generation. Rest in peace. I can't imagine she's still alive. Coco Taylor. That was from the 2001 Peoria Open. Suggestion of of Mike Val. Holy shit. Oh my Lanta. That was so bad. All right. As custom, as we always do here as well, anytime we have a first time guest, we play a highlight video from our special guests. Let's take a look at the one and only BrunsNick.
What's up, guys? BrunsNick's back, and we're here at the House of Pain. Got a lot of requests to give a tour of this place and what it's all about. Let's take a tour of this place. Let's go take a walk around and see what this is all about.
Nick Smith, also known as BrunsNick, is an avid YouTuber. He has an amazing TikTok page. He owns the Pro Shop in Santa Clarita Lanes and one other location. He's host of the Perception versus Reality podcast. He started in 2010 as a product specialist for Brunswick, and in 2015, they changed his role to digital media manager. He has been in charge of all the social media for the brands of Brunswick since.
Bet that snack pack's pretty good, huh? You want to trade the rest of it for this banana? You know how badly I can beat you, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very special guest, my friend, Brunswick, Nick Smith. Nicky, what's going on, brother?
I'm still feeling very patriotic after that national anthem, so I had to break out the USA shades.
I like it. I dig it.
Because I can't really see anything with these things on.
You don't need to see anything.
They are nice. They got the USA all over them.
I like it.
But yeah, if you were to drive with these, I would die.
Yeah, I would not suggest you do that, especially when it's snowing in Michigan. So.
Oh man, what's going on out there?
What's going on, dude? I appreciate you coming on tonight on short notice, as always. That's how I book my guests. It's usually a day or two before, but no, like you weren't like a last minute suggest. Well, actually, you were last minute suggestion from Amanda last night. But regardless, I didn't have a guest this week, so thanks for being here.
It's true. She was like, "Oh yeah, ask him. He'll do it. He's got nothing going on.
He's a podcast whore. He'll do anything."
Lately, right?
Right, I get it. But
I'm just a substitute teacher when it comes to guests on podcasts these days.
Hey,
I'm always the what's it called? The understudy in every play, right?
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Yeah, I get it.
It's true. It's okay.
It's unfortunate.
I don't mind.
Hey, somebody has to play that part, right?
Who better than me?
Who better than BrunsNick? That's right.
Who better? See, we got some familiar faces in the chat. I've been following along when I'm not laughing at your rendition of the national anthem, which I'm glad my mic was muted because I was howling over here.
That was absolutely atrocious. And thanks to Mike Val for throwing that out there last week because that was horrible.
First thing I thought of was Coming to America. Second chocolate. That boy's good. That boy's good. Good and terrible.
Good and terrible. I love that movie. Everybody knows BrunsNick, obviously. You're a household name when it comes to Brunswick and obviously in charge of their social media team. Actually, you are the social media team. I know you have a lot to do, so I do appreciate your time. We covered some of this, actually probably most of it on Amanda Moore's show, Reset and Rise to the Unbreakable. If you guys haven't checked that out, please check that out as well. But you have been bowling pretty much your whole life. Literally since you're in diapers, right? So
I think after I was done with the diapers, I got into the bowl. Because back then, they wouldn't let you bowl if you were, you couldn't fit into house shoes. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, they were sticklers about it. Like if you didn't fit into the house shoes, which I think they started at size 1 back then. They didn't go down to. They didn't do like the 12s and 13s and stuff like that for kids back then.
Right.
But they wouldn't let you bowl at all. They were like, no, get out of here. There's an age minimum. So,
well, obviously your mom got you into bowling, and were you ever involved in any other sports, or has it always been bowling?
Baseball. I was a little leaguer, and quite the pitcher too. So,
really,
yeah, I learned how to throw a curveball when I was 8 years old, and so I got recruited from like farm level players and like 8-year-olds, and they put me with the minor leaguers, which was like the 9 and 10-year-olds, because I could pitch. So, and back then, like you could only pitch like, I don't know, you played 2 games and you can only pitch 6 innings. So that was it. They didn't want to give you Tommy John surgery by the time you hit puberty.
Right.
But I remember I missed a lot of bowling because a lot of games were on Saturday mornings. Usually like 10 or 11 was the first game. So I would bowl a game, try to get through 2, and then have to rush over to the field. I went to bowling in my baseball uniform, basically, and
nice.
And then had to huck it over across town to the baseball field. So back then, before I was like 12, like baseball took precedent during the springtime at least.
That was the same with me in soccer. I don't know why my parents put me in soccer. I absolutely hated it. I wish they would have got me into and I grew up in Connecticut, like, which is, cold like Michigan, and you grew up in California. So, but growing up in the Northeast, we played hockey. We played, winter sports, football, hockey. I don't know why the hell they put me in soccer, but I remember having we had 2 halves of our junior league. So I played soccer from like August up until I want to say October. And then I joined the second half of my junior league. And I absolutely loved bowling more than soccer. Number one, because I fucking hate to run. Like,
I was going to say,
who wants to run for fun? Like,
if I had kids, I would put them in soccer just to watch them pointlessly run around for an hour.
Right. Which, I mean, when you're 9, 10, 11, 12, that's usually what to do anyway. But,
yeah,
no,
now soccer, I can't even watch it. Like, if I wanted to watch a bunch of dudes run around for 90 minutes and never score, I just go to local bars.
Point for Nick. That's true. But no, yeah, I was kind of the same way. I was a 2-sport athlete, but I obviously preferred bowling over baseball. What made you get out of baseball?
Well, after Little League was like the Pony League, and I hadn't hit my growth spurt. I was a late bloomer. So all these kids, I noticed it when I was my 12-year-old year, my last year of Little League, is I never gave up a home run until my 12-year-old league. And all of a sudden, like, all these kids got huge. Like, every kid had one giant, like, monster kid. We had one too, and he was dumb as a freaking oak. But Tommy, yeah, I still remember his name, Tommy, and he can mash the ball. If he got one, the other teams all had a slugger. I think they just all picked one. Like, oh, you get Mongo this year, and we get Tommy.
Right.
But the kids got so big, and I hadn't hit puberty yet at age 12, so I just didn't want to play anymore. The kids were all bigger than me, so that's when I started bowling more.
That's unfortunate. You ever wonder what would happen if you would have stuck with it?
I probably would not have been the next Tim Lincecum, I can tell you that much.
You wouldn't be BrunsNick either, so I guess things happen to work out for whatever reason, right?
Yeah, back then, like, we didn't have any formal coaching back in Little League. It was just one of the dads of the kids were the coach, usually 2 of them.
Right.
And I remember the one that took me all the time, his name is Dale, and a single cab Ford truck, and I would sit in the middle, and Timmy would sit in the front seat, and he smoked the whole way to and from practice. I'm pretty sure he had a couple beers, like in Bad News Bears. That was a thing back then too.
Yep.
But we just played at a local, it's just an elementary school field, and it's a terrible field to practice on. But it was just like taking grounders. There was no real coaching. It was just going through the motions. But we weren't tracking velo or anything like that. It was just who can pitch and who can throw it over the plate. But
Amanda has a question for you. What's a belief or assumption most bowlers have about equipment or the industry that you think is completely wrong?
Static weights.
Explain what that is, since you're a pro shop guy. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so, okay, a bowling ball comes with top weight, right? And that's basically to offset the finger holes. Back when the rules were you could have a half ounce or ounce finger side, thumb, whatever, and then top weight you could have 3.
Yeah.
So back in the years of you can have balance holes, you can never go over 1 ounce. So back then, like, static weights mattered to an extent where if it's going to be legal or not after. Now it's like it's 3 ounce is the rule. So you're really never going to go over that number. The USBC basically said, hey, static weights don't matter. They don't influence ball motion to any degree that you're going to see it. But there are still some out there that say, I need that half ounce of finger weight to get more length down the lane. And it's just not not a thing. Like once you put a ball in motion and the ball's flaring, that finger weight's no longer finger weight anymore. It's just all in motion. It's not static anymore.
Yeah.
So it really has no influence on a ball. You know, if you put a dodo weight in there, then yeah, maybe. But in the rules that are applied to a legal bowling ball, no, you're not going to see a difference. And we've proved that on Throwbot multiple times, taking two bowling balls with completely opposite statics and throwing them. And there's literally like a half board difference between them, between like 4 ounce difference in, you know, finger, thumb, sides and all that stuff. So there's really nothing that goes to that. And also, the other another assumption that most bowlers have about the industry is that you have to be a really good bowler, or you need X amount of something to be on staff. Like you need X amount of wins, or you need to average this amount, or you need to throw this many 300s to be on staff. And that's just not the case.
Why did they get rid of sideways? All of my balls that I just about everything I've ever used has always had a side weight in it. Why did USBC go against that?
Why? Well, I think with two-handers coming on the scene, you know, they had to make some changes because, you know, when you're not they used to be able to drill a thumb hole if they wanted and have an extra hole. So it's basically you can create a lot of dynamic range after drilling if you have that many extra holes and you're not using them. Combine it with a 500-600 rev rate, you can really change the way a ball rolls. So the first thing they did was, you know, I think they got rid of thumb holes you had to use all your finger holes. So if you drilled it, you had to use it.
Yep.
I think that was the first thing that was changed. And then they went ahead and got rid of balance holes altogether, because that was another thing they were doing. They were just drilling, you know, a big balance hole with their two fingers and then same effect. So essentially they were just trying to limit the amount of performance a ball could get after drilling. So that's why that all went away. Now you can only drill two fingers, and that's it for two-hander. For a no-thumber, you have to just drill your two fingers, and that's it.
See, I always needed the balance weight because I didn't have a rev rate, so I needed some kind of advantage to get the ball rolling sideways and facing the pocket. So that's something I had to do.
And they haven't done a study since, right? They haven't done any kind of study that showed, oh, hey, this really helped the game, this really helped the scoring pace, whatever they were trying to achieve by it. If anything, it hurt. The no balance hole rule hurt average bowlers, because now you're limited by how much flare you can get. You know, you can't use an extra hole to your benefit anymore. So it really handcuffed the people that are already, you know, in the middle of that range of, you know, either average or rev rate, whatever. They can't get that same kind of flare that they were getting before. But
now with the new equipment, the way things are now, I mean, I'm sure you could find something that matches up, you know, that will absolutely help you, you know, help the mid-range bowlers, you know, bowl better.
Yes, so Radical does that a lot with a lot of their cores that have the protrusions and the missing parts of the core on purpose, so you don't take any mass out of the ball. That's dense, high density. So we basically design cores with the weight holes kind of already in place. If you wanted them or not. So where you put the holes and what kind of mass you remove does matter on certain bowling balls. So, you know, they changed the rules, we changed the tools. It's always been our motto there. And Stevie Fresh designs a lot of cool cores that have these wide protrusions and crazy things that can really change the numbers after drilling, just depending if you hit it or not. And that's the new technology right now.
Have more brands try to mimic that, or is that something that stands out and why Radical obviously is Radical and different from any other brand?
I don't think that other brands really understand it as well. Like 2 years ago, DV8 came out with a ball game called Troublemaker, designed especially for two-handers.
Yep.
And it had core properties in it that were specifically designed for two-handers, where you weren't using a thumb. So you can increase the total differentials with voids in the core that were... They designed them that way so that if you drilled it this way, we knew what the numbers were going to be after. You can really change the track flare properties, and that's since gone even more with an asymmetrical version of that with voids in it. And so, it's really cool technology that I don't think a lot of even consumers have a really big grasp on. There's been so much information and educational stuff out there on specifically that, and the other question we get is like, oh, well, these balls are made for two-handers. Are they good for normal bowlers that use their thumb? And it's like, yeah, they are. They still take on the same properties of, what the core and the cover is going to do and how they all mesh. It's just to get those dynamic range with flare potential, you don't use your thumb with those cores.
Right. That's something I never knew. So, I mean, I love learning new things and having new guests on the show because I wasn't even aware that Radical was doing stuff like that. I have to say hi to Alex Bermudez, our good friend behind the drill press in Modesto, California. Fun fact, BrunsNick signed me to my first contract with Brunswick. In his honor, going out to have an In-N-Out double-double. Cheers. We were actually talking about In-N-Out before we went on the air because they're opening up here, 4 of them in Tennessee.
My man, yeah. Alex is cool out of Modesto. Yeah, I remember when I did sign him, unfortunately, I had to sign many San Francisco Giants fans, and he was one of them. And when I started Brunswick in 2010, the Giants won in 10, 12, and 14.
Yeah.
So I had to hear it non-stop, yakety yakety yak yak, right? So the Dodgers were in like a bankruptcy era with the McCourts,
right?
And then they sold the team, and this new conglomerate came in and bought them with the Magic Johnsons and all that stuff. And now it's like the richest team ever, and then we got the best players. We signed the best. We are the best, and now we're winning all the World Series. And I actually made a bet with Alex after the 2014 World Series. I bet him that the Giants will not win another World Series within 10 years. So that was the bet. It was $100. So I had to wait 10 years, and it finally, after the 24th season, it paid up. So that's the whole thing. I'll put my money where my mouth is, though. Like, nobody is going to take Dodgers against a bet anymore. But back then, I had a lot of cocky Giants fans wanting to bet me on everything, and I took every bet. And so
I love that. Who won this year, by the way?
This year or last year? Because it's the same answer.
The last baseball season.
That would be the Dodgers. They won in 25 and 24, back to back, and then they just signed a new closer yesterday from the Mets, Edwin Diaz.
I saw that.
And it's going to be a good year. They're already starting to make moves.
So with the $800 million payroll, I mean, of course you're going to win. That's what the Yankees did. That's what the Red Sox did. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to win.
I mean, the Padres spent over $1 billion almost on 3 players, and they didn't even make the playoffs that year.
The Mets can be thrown into that as well. Yeah,
Mets missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of upset that Mike Val didn't get on the show because I had a bunch of great one-liners for his Mets, man.
We'll have to have you back just so you can do that, because I would love to just sit there and watch that.
And I'm also, the fact that Dr. Ocho is not on the show. At first, when you said Dr. Ocho, I thought you meant Dr. Ochoa from Criminal Minds. I was really excited to meet a celebrity, but
he is a celebrity in his own right, I guess.
Right, but I was in Dr. Ochoa from Criminal Minds, big fan.
Chuck Ritchie sent me that. Breaking, the Dodgers have signed with Mr. Met, terms undisclosed. That's awesome. Thank you, Chuck. We could talk sports forever. Ocho being a huge Steelers fan, obviously with Old Man River, Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. Can you imagine being 7-6 and leading your division? I mean, that's something to be proud of.
It's terrible, but go Rams house. Have a good year.
I'm a Pats fan, so hopefully we'll meet you in the Super Bowl, but you never know.
Never know.
I'm sure. Dude, I'm a big Josh Allen fan, too, which is so conflicting because I've been born and bred to hate anybody else in the AFC East. But fantasy football, he's been my quarterback for the last 3 years. So I've kind of de facto been rooting for the Bills and the Pats at the same time, which is a complete mindfuck. And it's just that's why a lot of people don't play fantasy football, because they can't root for their rivals.
I've never played fantasy sports for that very same reason.
Yeah, really? Never, huh? Really?
Never.
Yeah, it's difficult. But when there's money in the line, I'll root for anybody. I'm a whore. It's $800 first place.
If they're not a Dodger, first off, with football, I wouldn't even know who to pick. It's I don't know.
You're not a football guy?
Not a big football guy. I'll watch in the postseason, in the playoffs, but regular season, no, I'm not watching. But baseball, yeah. Baseball, I can do it fine, but I don't feel right about picking other players. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. I could never get involved in fantasy baseball because there's too many games, like way too many games. I can't go through 162 game season or whatever and pay attention to my lineup every day. Like, fuck, no. I couldn't do that. We do have more questions for you. Amanda wants to know, what's the bowling trend you think everyone is sleeping on right now?
Bowling trend that everyone is sleeping on right now? I don't know. Everybody seems to be up and up on all the trends. Like, I don't think there's a real trend. I mean, maybe spare shooting,
right? That's a novel idea, right?
I think the spare game gets overlooked quite a bit. I think having a clean game or a clean series is not unheard of, because I mean, high scores are out there, but strikes are the name of the game. But spare shooting's still an art, So. I don't know. Trends, I'll have to think about that some more. But I don't know if there's any trends. I mean, maybe on TikTok, I guess, right? With all the AI videos that are going out there.
Isn't it crazy, dude? Like, and it's obviously still kind of in its infancy right now, and a lot of them are really good. But I watch the wrestling AI videos because they're just so outlandish. But I mean, can you imagine once they really perfect that technology, you're not going to know what's real or fake. And I think that's the real danger of AI is you could set somebody up for murder with an AI video, and how would you know unless you really dig into the coding of the video? That's the only way you'd probably be able to tell what's real and what's not real. But there's a lot of very good deep fakes.
Yeah, I remember just last week, my buddy sent me an AI video of myself rapping to Wu-Tang, and it was just off of a picture he took from here.
Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define how I be trapped.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, that's awesome, because we both went to the Wu-Tang concert back in July. We met up and we went to that concert in Detroit. So he sent me that just based on a photo. Like, it's crazy.
It's sick, dude. Yeah, it is.
How
it is
works.
crazy. You should put. Did you post that to your TikTok? You should.
No.
I would.
No.
I would. You can go viral on that.
You're not gonna know what's real or fake.
Let's see what else we got here. Any more videos coming up on Brunswick channel with Dasha Kovalova?
I mean, we had talked about doing another video with the pet peeves, but Dasha has since moved to Florida now. She's engaged. She moved in with her fiance now, so she's living out of Florida. I think somewhere in Tampa, maybe. I'm not sure. She moved to Florida, so no, she's not local anymore. So the chances of doing a video, unless we bring her up or something for something special, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
All right. Happy
but congrats to her for getting engaged. Nick, are they going to add string pins to your test lanes anytime soon?
They've been talking about it for a little while now. So we have A2s, we have old GS98s, and we got GSX. So we got a pair of each. And they keep talking about putting at least 2 lanes of string pin in there, if not 4. So right now, they've been asking, because 5 and 6 is the only lanes we can run Throwbot on, because Throwbot's gigantic, and those are the only lanes that we can test on those. So we want to keep free fall on there on 5 and 6. So whether or not they're going to go to 1 and 4 with string, or they're going to go just 1 and 2, I'm not sure, but that will affect possibly how I do videos in the future,
right?
Because I don't necessarily want to do reviews on string pins, just because I don't want it to be a distraction from the ball,
right? Because
we all know that everybody's got an opinion on string pin, good or bad. And, I'd rather just bowl in free fall if possible. So, there might be a lane change in the future where I won't bowl in lane 2 anymore. And that would be fine, but they'll figure it out. I think they're going to replace all the lanes too and get rid of the white lanes now too. So just go to a more traditional anvil lane.
Have you bowled on string pins?
Yes, for the first time over the summer.
Were they certified, or what do you know what they were? Okay.
Yeah, so it was the Brunswick Boost ST, which are certified. They actually have 2 settings on them, and it's just you can change it from the kiosk, whether you want it USB-C compliant, which is a 54-inch string, or they go to USB, or they go to open play setting, which is 45-inch string. And I tested them both. I did a video over the summer for string pin. And it was pretty long, so I went in depth. I bowled on the USB-C compliant, and then I bowled a full game, and then I bowled on the open play setting. And there's a difference. There's a little bit of difference, but it's not egregious or anything. And I think like a lot of the string assisted hits get overblown because you see one video out there and they're like, "Oh, see that? That shouldn't happen."
Right.
It's like, well, I mean, free fall's got its nuances too.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of things that can happen with free fall.
I've seen pins fall down and stand straight back up in the same spot. I mean, what the hell are you going to do with that?
Nothing.
Right.
You're just going to take it to the bowling gods and say thank you very much.
Exactly. I mean, it happens, right? So
right. It's give and take. So you might get a string assisted hit, but you might not carry a light mixer that you probably shouldn't have carried anyway, or a flat
That's a
tank.
fantastic point. That is an absolutely fantastic point that I don't think anybody else has made. We have heard that shot making is definitely a premium. I know, there's been several pros that bowled the regionals when they had the string pins. Ryan Schaefer put out a pretty good piece on his Facebook page, and he didn't seem to have an issue with it. And obviously he's an old school guy. But you're right. The spray and pray isn't really you're not gonna see the messengers. Maybe one or two.
I mean, I sent a lot of messengers, but they didn't connect the 10 pin. So I might have to go back and try it because the pins fly around fine. They just fly in a different manner, because they got a string attached to them. How much of that is an influence? It's like, well, with a 54-inch string, not as much as you think, because they got to go pretty far for it to have any kind of influence on the string. Now, but yeah, you got to hit the pocket a lot more pure. You got to hit. Light mixer is going to be a hard one. Half pocket's going to be a hard one. And I also found that going away from the pocket too much is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to get the ball back through the pins. And if the ball's out of energy, hitting kind of rolling forward, you're not going to carry the 10.
And you're going to have a lot of flat 10s as opposed to normal, right?
A lot of 9 pins, too, for me. Because the other thing with the center that I was at is they used the Brunswick plastic pins, the Max Life.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other thing people don't think about is if you put a regular pin in string pin, the 1 and the 2 and the 3 are going to get beat up really fast because they're always in the front. There's no cycling. So they got to cycle through them. I don't know the progression or how long the interval is, but they have to rotate those pins to the back so they don't get so beat up. With the plastic pin, you don't have to do that because they're much more durable and they don't get those indentions and break or wear in like, with the outer coating because it's all plastic. There's nothing to break there.
So one thing JP said about all that a few months ago is he misses just the sound of the pins. Number one, just the crack of the wood pins and just listening to the pins cycle, through the back. Like you don't get that anymore with string pins. It's just set them up, set them down. It's just.
On the positive side, though, for me filming videos, it was the quietest video I've ever filmed.
Right.
My audio sounded fantastic because you didn't hear all the pins cycling nonstop like on a GSX. Those machines are loud, So if anything, like I welcome that because it's quiet, and I sound good. I don't have to like yell or talk louder over the machine.
Well, EJ obviously knows the trends, so he put them in his center and. The Bones have a pair at rev rates at Hollow Lanes. So, you got to kind of, bowling has adapted ever since, wood to synthetic and wood balls to rubber balls to plastic balls to urethane to resin, blah, blah, blah. So,
and back to urethane.
The sport has always adapted. So, you got to either kind of get on the bus or move on. There's not much you can do to stop it once centers decide if it's cost effective and they don't need to, keep a $35 an hour mechanic, on board
and pay the insurance and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And the electricity,
it's a no brainer.
The electricity to run a GSX or an A2 versus a string pin. A string pin uses a 24 volt, basically adapter plug that you can buy at Radio Shack.
Yeah.
And all the machines are on like an 80 amp dedicated breaker.
No shit, I didn't know that.
So just imagine just the pull through of electricity of these big motors that have to run these machines.
And break down all the time.
And the insurance that you don't have to spend as much anymore because there's no crushing death entailing, so I don't know. Like I've never worked on an A2. I'm terrified of those machines. They have them on lanes 3 and 4, and that's why you'll never see me bowl on 3 and 4 because if they break down, I don't know how to fix it. I have no clue.
Right.
Now GSX I've had some training on, so I can work around that. I can work on a GSX, but not A2. But string pin's easy. You just untangle the string. You're done. That's the only maintenance you got to do.
I've always said this on the show. If every center went to it and we are all on the same level playing field, amateurs and pros alike, who cares? Like literally, who cares? If we're all on the same lanes or same equipment, it's a fair fight, right? I mean, it's just something you got to deal with.
Yeah, if the environment's the same for everybody bowling the same tournament, so
that's all that matters.
There's no variables. Not like half the center's bowling on regular free fall and the other half is bowling on string pin.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. Or you're going to bowl in different centers or something like that. I don't know. It's just if it happens, it happens. It's never going to be totality string pin. Unfortunately, the biggest bowling center conglomerate in the world is probably pushing more string pins than anything, and I think they have like 400 centers or something like that. So it's going to become a little more prevalent.
Right.
I don't think every center is going to go to it. There's no way. It's just there's going to be those traditional centers that are going to stick with free fall, and you'll still have somewhere to bowl. But I understand it's going to affect some bowlers, and they're going to say, "Well, I'm going to quit." It's like, all right, then quit.
Right. No, you don't have to announce your departure. It's not an airport.
Yeah, it's like okay.
Yeah, I see it a lot in the Facebook groups. Like, okay, see you, dude. I mean, you don't want to bowl, fine. You don't have to. Go play. Go play cards or blackjack.
Play soccer again, Rob.
Go play soccer again. All right, let me throw this out to you then, because it's something I never really thought of. What if a majority of centers do, but you still have some underlying centers that don't? What do you do if you're a Bolero in the PBA? What if half your stops turn into string pins and half are free fall? Like, how do you measure that against, like, if U.S. Open goes to string pins? Or, I mean, like, that's going to be a complete mind fuck just for the bowlers to, like, have to be versatile enough to bowl on two different kinds of pins.
Well, yeah, U.S. Open, it's getting to the pockets already hard enough.
No shit.
You got to hit the pocket a certain way to make it strike.
Would we run into that scenario?
It's possible. For sure, it's possible that, that a center is going to be hosting a major at some point with string pin in the future. I'm sure it's going to happen. And the USBC has said that the scoring pace isn't that affected. I think they said up to maybe 7 pins total, something like that. But I think if you take a pro on any of those patterns and you take the scoring pace for the field, I don't think there's going to be much of a difference. If you take from a year ago to, like, say if they bowl on string pins this year, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. If you were to have it, say at the same center, say they all changed over to string pin and they're still hosting the tournament. I think the pros are going to adapt. They're going to figure out how to strike. And it's with anything. Like, if I got enough time on the strings, I'll learn the nuances of the pin carry.
Right.
And I will aim for certain hits in the pocket more than others, and I'll make my misses just like when you're playing golf. If there's hazards to the right, I'm going to make my miss left. I'm going to stay away from the hazard. If hitting half pocket is going to be leaving a 10 pin, then you better believe that I'm either going to be hitting more high flush or I'm going to try to hit more light mixer, because half pocket's not good.
Right. Amanda says she bowls on both fraternities out here in Idaho and Utah. The scores aren't much different. Strings just require you to be a little more accurate and consistent. Are people making more out of it than it actually is then, just because they're afraid of change?
I think a lot of people just haven't bowled on them yet, or haven't bowled on a certified.
They've used the carnival style bullshit ones,
right? Yeah. Because the early videos that came out were from machines that were prior to the USBC certification process, so they weren't retrofitted. They didn't have all these pins that are flying out of the back. Like, I saw one where someone picked up a 2-8-10 by hitting the 10 pin, and the 10 pin flew out and hit both the 2 and the 8.
Yeah,
it's like I tried my hardest to get a pin to bounce out of the back, and I couldn't do it. Like, I threw it hard. I tried picking up a 7-10, couldn't do it. Even with the longer string, I don't think it's possible to get a string assisted hit on a 7-10. I could try 100 times, and maybe I get it once. I don't know. But it's just not going to be a common thing. I just think a lot of people have not bowled on a true certified string pin. And, when you don't know all the facts, you just don't know the environment, that just, you're going to have fear. It's just like anything, like with people with electric cars or whatever. It's like, oh, well, they're so bad at this, they're going to catch on fire. They see like the highlights, like a truck, caught fire in California probably like 6 months ago, carrying a whole load of Teslas, right? And the first thing everybody said, oh, those Teslas caught on fire and engulfed the whole truck. It was the semi-rig that caught fire, and then the cars caught fire after that.
Right.
But it was all over the news. Oh, Tesla's caught fire on the freeway. You know, it's like, okay, well, you keep telling people that story, and then you influence. Oh, well, yeah, they're terrible. They catch on fire. But it's like no. But if you look at the actual data, it's not the truth. Like combustion cars catch fire more often than EVs do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's just you're only going to hear about the EVs. You're not going to hear about the 2001 Buick LeSabre that caught fire because they haven't done maintenance on it in 15 years.
Right.
You're not going to hear that story. That's just going to go to the junkyard and no one's going to care.
That's a good point. Moving on to our other hotbed topic. What about the USBC's ruling about urethane? Obviously, I can't even say it's a new thing because we started talking about this 4 years ago when we started the show. Like when they first started banning before the Purple Hammer, I think they're banning storm balls, they're banning Brunswick balls. Obviously, the purple has been the subject of their attention for the last couple of years, but is it really that big of a deal? Like, is it honestly the hardness, or does somebody in the USBC have an axe to grind?
Well, it started even before USBC. It was at the PBA, and they did field testing on purple hammers, and they can say, oh, we just did field testing on all these balls or whatever, these urethane balls. But when they did their report, or when we broke down the numbers of their report, because they didn't break it down for anybody, they just showed all the balls that they tested. It was, I think, like 100 and something bowling balls they tested. I don't remember the exact number. And it was like 60%, 70% purple hammers tested. So they were just cherry picking purple hammers out of that. Right. And they claim that they get softer with use. And with their testing, they're testing balls fresh off the lanes being used, all sorts of contaminants on the shell, and using a durometer that's not been dialed in. It's not certified. Because when you take a durometer outside the lab and then set it back up and then pack it away, you're going to throw off the calibration.
Right.
But they say, oh, it gets softer. So they said, okay, well now, we're going to raise the hardness to 73 or whatever, from 72 to 73. So it's fine. So you saw a running change with the purples, went from a green pin to a purple pin.
Yeah.
When the PBA did that test and they showed that, and that was their data, that was their conclusion. These purple hammers, they get soft or whatever. The only problem is that, if you were to clean those bowling balls, if they were to have a standardized testing procedure by either resurfacing the ball, cleaning all the contaminants off, because even if you clean it with alcohol, you're not going to get 100%, because the way that a urethane shell is molecularly, it doesn't absorb oil, but it houses oil in the shell. For anybody that's thrown a purple hammer, that the first shot hooks 15 more boards than the ball is ever going to hook again in its life for the first shot. And once it gets oil in the shell, then it tames in and becomes what the ball is actually supposed to be. Well, when the PBA came out with that test, USBC went and did their own testing, and they got this fancy new machine that's supposed to read their footprint. They did a footprint study, and they even showed that the footprint increase after oil or after use on a ball, or not a ball, but the purple hammer, was due to contaminants in the shell. So when the ball was compressing on this camera on the glass, it was squishing oil out and creating a wider footprint. And they even documented that. They said, hey, it's measuring softer. It's not actually softer, but the footprint's getting bigger like it is softer because it's reading that way. And they also concluded that even though the ball was measuring softer, not when it's produced softer, so that's the main thing. Bowling balls that are produced softer, they're gonna hook more. But a ball that's produced at 74 and measures at, say, 69 after testing, or 70, whatever, after it's got oil on there, does not hook more and does not perform more. And they tested that on their Earl machine, their robot machine, to show that the performance wasn't any better when the ball was measuring softer. It was not a performance thing, because you would think, okay, well, the ball is getting softer or measuring softer. This ball should hook out more. It should hook even more than when it was new, and that's not the case. Nobody can show that the performance gets better than what it was out of the box. Once you start using it, the ball is not going to hook more. It's just not. Yeah. So I think it was kind of weird that the USBC then made the rule on the restrictions after their own testing study showed that, hey, this data shows that these bowling balls aren't getting softer. They're measuring softer, but they just are trying to appease the squeaky wheels, to say, because a lot of these brands don't have this ball, and a lot of those brands' players feel like they can't compete with this ball because they feel like, hey, it's cheating, Well, it's not cheating. The ball is just better, and your company can't make the same ball. Sorry.
Right.
So, of course, you're going to complain. And then, so, the restrictions have come more and more now with the college level stuff getting banned in that. I don't know if it's all urethane or if it's just purple or whatever, but there's more teams that are sponsored by competitor brands than there are by our brands out there. So, and it was a coach's vote. So how do you think they're going to vote?
Exactly.
If you look at the tournament that just went on in Hong Kong, the World Championships, almost all the gold players, especially from Finland, there's one girl that won, 4 gold medals in the whole event. What do you think she used all event? Purple Hammer.
Right.
If you go to any of those European federation, and they've gone with the USBC as far as if it's on the approved list, it's allowed in competition. So they've gone away from their old restriction, and that's it. Like, the ball is USBC approved, and the fact that you can't use it, for average Joes like me, you, most of the people that are watching, except for a few pros I saw in there, like Chuck. The only time you can't use a purple hammer is at the USBC Nationals Championship, the Open Championship. That's the only tournament that affects me. So I'm going to have to take different bowling balls this year. So I have to take 78 hardness balls. So either Black Hammer or now the Crown U, which is a fantastic ball. So I have a new purple to take to Nationals. So I'm okay. But as far as anything else that anybody bowls, Purple Hammer's still in play. Use them all. So, and use them in league. And use them with a lot of surface too, just to really...
just to piss people off.
Yeah.
Emerald Sin wants to know, did Storm's balls, are they involved too? I know that they banned the high road originally, I think it was.
I don't know. I think there
was one or two Storm that they initially put on that list a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was a softness issue back then with some of their resin balls. I don't remember which ones they were, but USBC does spot checks. When you try to get a ball approved, you got to send X amount of sample balls, right? And then if it's too close to a limit, they're going to ask for more bowling balls. Bowling balls are made in batches, and sometimes some things come up in manufacturing. It's not uncommon. Motive had this happen a while back with their Jackal. They, after the ball was out, because they produced it so close to the tolerance of 060, what happens to the molds after a while, after use and all that heat, is they expand over time slightly. And, they weren't doing their own spot checks, and some of the balls were coming in over 060, so USBC asked for X amount of balls, and they failed. And that's why the ball got banned from use. So, they kind of got in trouble on that one. And the other ones, I think with Storm, was just a hardness issue. Like the resins were soft. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Something like that. But as far as their urethane balls, I mean, obviously they had like the pitch black, I think.
Pitch black is their number one.
So I don't know.
Which no one ever complains about those.
Right. Because it's not a purple. We have the only traditional urethane balls out right now. We have the only ones that you can buy. So Purple Hammer, Black Hammer, now Crown U are traditional urethane balls. Everything is like a reactive type urethane. It's not true urethane, traditional wise. Because you can't just copy a urethane formula just by kind of trying to unbake a cake. They tried.
Right.
Brunswick tried before we bought Hammer. We tried to copy it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just something that's a top secret formula.
Of course, when I've had Storm guys on, they're like, "Oh, more people have won with the pitch black than the Purple Hammer." It's blah blah blah. Well, that's because you have 7,000 people on staff, right? Like
that's the whole. That's the other thing. Like, how many tournaments has Purple Hammer actually won? Like, if you go back and count them, like it's really not that much.
Yeah,
it's really not that much when you think about it. It's just I don't know. I don't know why it was a witch hunt. That's what it was.
I don't either. That's exactly how I felt too. I thought there had to be more to it than what we were being told by the USBC specifically, because it did seem like a witch hunt for the purple. You mentioned the crown jewel, which Chuck Ritchie has thrown. I watched your video on it. That ball looks really, really good. Just for those that haven't seen your channel or watched your review on it, what were your thoughts initially throwing that ball? It's a pretty ball too.
Yeah, so I'm used to urethane balls that don't flare. Purple hammer, black hammer does not flare. The only way you can really get a lot of flare out of those balls is if you drill a 16, because the 16 pounder's got a little bit more differential built in. So having a ball that would flare, 3 to 4 inches versus, the maybe 1 to 2 inches that I was maybe getting out of a purple, it really changes the way the ball digs in and reads. It's not a big, urethane's not a back ending ball at all, but
right.
I felt like I had to keep it a little bit faster in the front and control that initial read. If I was a little bit lazy with it, it was going to read too early, and that was my miss pretty much on Thursday night when I bowled league with it. And once I figure out any new ball, and I want to see the ball hook on urethane, I want to see that ball dig in.
Sure.
So that's a good sign. And also having more flare to start gives you versatility if you want to try a different layout and go pin down and really narrow the flare. So I think you can dial it in close to what the guys with purple were looking at back then. And obviously this ball is going to be used on tour, and it's going to be an option for the guys that are bowling out there. So we're going to see if it comes into play. We're going to see if they make use of a crown U with a little more flare, and if that becomes a thing or not. Like last year we came out with the new blue, and that was supposed to be like a closer urethane type look, and it got a lot of hype and a lot of use. Even AJ Rice shot 900 with it in one of the tournaments.
Yes,
and so it got some use, but not on tour. Like they used black 78, and
the black 78 was huge for Eric Jones and a lot of the guys.
That's what they use. So we're going to see if they adopt this Crown 78U. We're going to see if that becomes, they still have the 78 black hammer to use, and we'll see if Crown comes in play. Tour's going to start up in February, and I'm sure it's going to be in the bags, and we're going to see if it comes out and plays.
Come February, though, with as many balls that get released, do you think it'll get lost in the shuffle? Or do you think it'll still be relevant?
When it comes to tour guys, no. I mean, they're gonna have certain balls set aside no matter what.
Yeah.
So, no, it's those guys are obviously going to drill everything, and they're going to make a decision usually really quick, and it's usually by committee. Like they always just get around and in a practice session and be like, "Oh, this ball's good. This ball's great. We're going to throw this one a lot this week." Between all the reps and all the players, they pretty much like, this ball's great. This ball we could probably put away this week. That kind of, and they kind of have a little bit of teamwork that way. Obviously there's outliers. Obviously people are going to throw certain balls when people didn't think it was very good.
Sure.
Or the consensus was that ball's not going to be usable.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think they're gonna. There's always gonna be urethane in the bags, and whether it's gonna come out and play, it's gonna be the next. And if it's gonna be better than 78 black hammer, that's gonna be what it's up against.
Just initial thoughts of me watching different people throw that ball. It really looks like it could be a game changer, like the purple hammer was. It does look that good, and it can be used anywhere on the lane, depending on what you want to do with it. So, somebody also want to know about the Hammer New 2.0. I know you love that ball.
I do. Yeah. I shot 700 the week before, before Thanksgiving. And I thought it needed surface in my review. Like I thought that it needed a little something, but it's actually great lane shine.
Yeah.
It's not, this ball was a little different where it's not really trying to go that urethane motion. It's not really trying to mimic a urethane roll. This is just a very, and it doesn't need to be a 78 hardness either. Like these balls, I think they're like 75 hardness, something like that. It's a resin ball. It's just, it's not urethane. It's just, they absorb slower, but fast enough not to be in that slow absorbing. So it's not going to have the restrictions as other balls. And, any thick shell ball, I get that gives me a different look like that. Like I love that kind of stuff, Purple Hammer, Black Hammer, now a new 2.0. Anything with that core that gives me a little different look where I can shape it just a little bit, get a little bit of back end out of it where, you're basically just adjusting the break point. Purple Hammer is going to be more in the mid lane, and this one's just going to be further down the lane. And you still want to stay on top of it. This isn't a ball that I'm going to hook the whole lane or try to, but for players out there that maybe are more rev dominant than I am, because I'm more speed dominant, and they bowl in dry lanes, great option, because house shots hook. They hook a lot.
Yeah. Robert Smith loves it. He was on last week. He's like, I got 4 of them drilled up. He absolutely loves that ball. It's pretty much the only thing he throws now. So, I mean, if he likes it, and obviously he's done a great job with hammer videos as well on his YouTube channel. A hell of a guy. But he couldn't say enough good things about the new 2.0, and I like it too. It looks really hammer. I mentioned this to Bob last week. Like, hammer to me in the last couple of years seems to have outshined every other brand. Like, for just technology wise and just innovation, really kind of coming out with game changing stuff. Is that a fair assessment?
It's really the coolest brand in bowling, I think. Yeah. And if you think about it, if you think like 10 years ago, I don't think that was the case. I mean, hammer was cool. It was a cool brand, but now when you add in some controversy, when you add in the urethane stuff going on and the attitude that the brand has about it, where, we're not going to put up with any shit.
Exactly.
We're going to call people out. We're going to make the best bowling balls. We're going to make this. We're going to make that.
Well, not to mention the widows and the Effector, like, just amazing ball. Like, I mean, every company makes great balls, but to me, I don't know. And maybe I'm just biased because I've always been a Brunswick guy, but
it's just a feel. Like, the
hammer
brand feels different. I mean,
it does feel different.
It's always been. I mean, one, it's got the coolest tagline in bowling. Nothing hits like a hammer.
It's like a hammer. Yeah.
How could you beat? Like, how can you beat that tag? Like it's never changed. It's never going to change.
Right.
But just everything just is so cohesive between the marketing, the products going out, just the social media push, and also people throw it. Like, it's when we have honor scores that people submit, and it's probably 10-1 hammer against all the other brands. Just for every one honor score with one of the other brands, it's 10 hammer honor scores coming in, because there's just so many of those balls go down the lane. And I see it too, just in like review videos and stuff like that, just with views. If I like the Zero Mercy, crazy views, right? And we could have a ball from another brand that's arguably a better bowling ball, better rolling, or better matchup for me, and not get as many views, because there's so many people that have eyes on hammer, and they see hammer and they're like, I got to see what this new ball does. I got to see what this new ball does. It's just,
plus they've signed a lot of great pros recently as well.
Yeah, and Robert's one of them. Like, he's a fairly new one.
Marshall Kent.
Yeah. I mean, I bring out Robert, 3-4 times a year out here to film videos, because he's really good on camera. And that actually started up his own YouTube channel. I told him, like, you need to do this yourself. Like, we're going to do the videos for you here, but when you go back home, do your own videos, because people are watching you, dude. Like, when you watch, like, if you go and go on the Hammer Facebook or Hammer YouTube and you look up any of his videos and watch the view count, it's crazy how many people, because he's a freak, between like he was Tiger Woods of bowling, back then. He was
if he didn't get hurt.
Right.
If he didn't get hurt, dude, he's just the nicest guy in the world, but man, look at his presence on the lanes. He's an intimidator. He's an absolute beast.
No one threw it like that.
No, he did. Yeah. Agreed.
No one threw it like that. And he's a SoCal guy. We grew up an hour away from each other. Obviously, he's older than I am by about 6 years. My brother bowled with him a little bit, my older brother, but I missed him completely. He was already out of juniors by the time I was even bowling some of the junior tournament stuff, and he was already winning U.S. Opens and all sorts of amateur championship stuff and bowling for Team USA. But yeah, when I went out there in March and we played some golf and had a fun time, and yeah, I talked to him a lot, and I get to have him come out to Muskegon now probably like 4 times a year or something like that to film some more videos, and we just knock out like 3-4 of them and do the launch video stuff. And yeah,
he was 600 RPM before they even measured rev rates on TV. Like, that was Yeah, he just lofted over the cap when he had to. I'm like,
three-stepping it right in front of the ball return.
Yeah,
and winning tournaments on TV. I mean,
and now he's conventional grip, and he says he's better.
That's debatable. That's very debatable. And I wasn't afraid to tell him during some of the shoots. I was like, dude, like your fingers and thumb are coming out at the same time. Like there's no time on your fingers because it's just your thumb comes out and the fingers come out at the same time, and you got no leverage on it anymore. So you got to really wait on it. You can't just try to whip it through the zone. You gotta help it a little bit, and we'll see what he comes up with because he's been to Muskegon 2 or 3 times this year, and each time has been a different grip. So
okay, all right. Well, I mean, he said that it feels better and it slowed him down. So I don't know. He enjoys it. I mean, if he really,
I had to put the reminder of his gutter ball in the new 2.0 video in the very beginning.
Oh shit!
Because that's what was happening. It was just flying off his hand, and he missed it. Like he missed it at the bottom. And he's like, "Wow, what's up with the pattern?" I'm like,
see, we get the real story now. We had him on blowing smoke up his own ass, and now you're saying he's dropping. I'm not dropping it at all anymore.
He wasn't dropping it. He was just it was just coming out at the same time. Like he's
a full roller.
That wasn't a full roller.
No.
He was it wasn't getting any finger on it. It was just all coming out at the same time. So the ball would just pop off his hand and go right. And, he'd be like, "Oh, what's wrong with the pattern? Did they not strip very well?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, this is just crown jewel. This is what I bowl on in my videos. If you can't hook it, we got a problem now."
Interesting. We may have to have a BrunsNick Robert Smith debate on here. All right. Well, I'm sure he'll be watching this, and you may get a phone call tomorrow. But no, he's a real good dude. Clifton Don says a couple track and ebonite balls over the years too. Good stuff. Look, all the brands of Brunswick are just firing on all cylinders. Honestly, I mean, it's just and being the social media manager, like the digital media manager, you have to have fun. Just like a kid in a candy store, you get to throw every single ball and make reviews on them. You get to drill them up and do different layouts and just experiment with different stuff. I mean, it's got to be, you got to be having a time of your life. Honestly, I know it's a lot of work, but
yeah,
I envy you for that.
Differentiating the brands, every brand has its kind of identity. We try to put like a little bit of a face to the brand. Radical's got Phil, and before Mo, rest in peace. Yeah. And I've kind of stepped into the Radical scene a little bit more with doing the podcast with Phil, and we got good.
It's a great show, by the way. Perception versus Reality. If you guys haven't checked it out on YouTube, check it out on the Radical Bowling channel. Yeah, really fun stuff.
We'll be back on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about super symmetricals versus ASIMs tomorrow. So I haven't put out the post yet, but that's going to be the topic for tomorrow. We're very topic centric podcast. We don't really have guests very often. We don't do a whole lot because
we never did in the beginning either. But for whatever reason, people said they wanted to be on the show, so we're like, fuck it. Now it's become a thing now. Like we used to just bullshit all the time. And if you do look at our early shows, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we were very topic centric as well. But now I guess the guest thing is kind of works out. But, and honestly, yeah. I mean, how many things can you actually talk about when it comes to bowling other than new releases and shit like that, right? Like it's. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, we find something. Some weeks are easier than others. We got at least to talk about new bowling balls once a month because that's going to happen,
right?
Because there's going to be new bowling balls, and I think if anything, there should be more bowling balls, right? Because
why not?
Because my dogs require good food, and I like to keep my heater on at 71 to 72 all day because I don't want to wake up cold and I don't want to walk around and have to put on a robe or blanket or something like that.
Has your California blood not changed and adapted to the Michigan weather? Come on, dude. 72?
No.
I get hot easily. We keep the thermostat at 66. I like being cold.
No thanks. Yeah, even in the summer, I'll let the thermostat to get to like 75, 76 in the summer because it's way different. I'll keep the windows on and the fan. I won't use my AC unless it's really hot.
Yeah,
but I don't mind being warm. I'd prefer it to be warm, but yeah, no, I haven't adapted. I've been here 10 and a half years now. We just got 30 inches of snow over since Thanksgiving. I don't mind the cold, but I much prefer to be inside when it's nasty out. I'm not going to go out and play hockey. It's not going to happen.
I get it.
ice bowling was hard enough, because having to drill a ball to fit with gloves on.
Right.
But
it's gotta be a big difference though, like because you weren't obviously used to that growing up in SoCal. You grew up in?
Yeah, I didn't even own a winter coat.
Right. And you know how thumbs change with heat and cold. Like you obviously never had that problem in the winter, so that had to be kind of an adjustment once you moved.
A little bit. I mean, that was the biggest adjustment when I came here was the approaches here are so tacky because all the moisture that gets brought into the center during winter when bowling happens. So about, what year was it? 2018? After a couple seasons of trying to figure out the approaches and just sticking, slipping, all that stuff, and every pair being different, I just stopped sliding. I'm just going to plant. I'm done.
Fuck it. That's what Book does. So yeah, might as well.
Yeah, so I've planted since, and now I don't care about the approaches anywhere. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't change a slide slow out for anybody. I don't need to. If I step in water, I'm just like, sweet, more traction.
Right? Is that hard on your ankles and knee? Like just stopping like that? I've never asked Book that, or I just thought it just seems like so abrupt.
No, because we're not stomping. That last step is a heel toe. When I first tried it a long time ago, because I got into a center and a regional where the approaches were like, I think they just resurfaced them or something, and it was like glass. So I didn't have a sole that could stop me enough, and I just I couldn't bowl. So I actually went out and bought shoes. I asked the tournament director, I was like, hey, I'm going to go buy some street shoes and only use them. Is that okay? Is that okay with the rules? And does it matter what brand they are? Because that's another thing. Like,
right. Yeah.
The product registration stuff or whatever. Yeah. So I bought some Vans or something like that, just something regular, and I bowled that tournament wearing street shoes, and my knee was barking because my timing hadn't adjusted where I was basically running the line. I was getting a lot of my power through my legs.
Yeah.
So it hurt after that. But now it's like I take 6 steps, a lot more slower steps. I still build into my approach as I get closer to line, but I'm not launching into that. I'm a lot more tame than I used to be. So no, I don't have any issues. I've bowled long form tournaments and no issues with it holding up.
That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. It just watching it on TV, it's like, oh man, that can't be good long term. But
Hagen's done it pretty much his whole career.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
He used to bowl with those checkered Vans on TV.
That's right. No, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, more power to you. For whatever reason, I don't slide anymore. My approach has changed over the years. I've gotten older and gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight. But I do see more and more people do it, and Boog was the first one I noticed on tour that was doing it. And obviously it doesn't bother him. He had great success. And he's another hammer guy that I love. And he's on the house bowling now, and they're all doing really well too. That's another great YouTube channel. Let's see, we're an hour and 13 minutes. We can wrap it up here in a second. I was going to cover some of your early life and all that, but we kind of got sidetracked. But I know that you started working at Santa Clarita Lanes when you were younger at the front desk, and then you transitioned to help out over in the pro shop, and eventually was able to buy that, and you bought another location from Bugsy Kelly, who's your boss at Brunswick. What was the worst part of working the front desk? Was it spraying out sweaty shoes, or it's kind of a nasty job.
That stuff. The spraying wasn't that bad. There wasn't really that many bad parts of that job. Maybe after a party, when
cleaning up all these kids,
50 kids that just drop all their shoes off and they just throw them in a big pile and sort them through the shoes.
Right.
That was probably like the hardest part of the job. It's just like, this big pile they've got to clean up, and and then go help the porter with cleaning up the area they were in and sweeping up. But no, it was like, I grew up in that center as a kid, so it was just like seeing old friends come in to bowl, and it's just like,
that's cool. Yeah,
you just kind of shoot the shit and like, hey Roger, hey Bill, what's up?
Right.
Just we had fun behind the desk. We did this back then when the real men of genius, or real American hero. The Bud Light stuff.
Yeah, real men of genius. Yeah.
Well, they did a bowling shoe giver outer guy.
Bowling shoe giver outer guy. Yeah.
Bowling shoe giver outer guy.
I used to love that. Yeah.
And we played it like, hey, we have a special announcement. We did it before league when we were doing our announcements, and then we both stood up there and like he was an old Air Force vet, the guy the manager, and we played the whole thing with a straight face. And I even like pantomimed a little bit with the shoes and the spray and all that.
Right.
But it's so funny. Like, we just have fun at that job. I mean, it's just we're there to have a good customer service and take care of the bowlers, but we're also there. It's like, it's not a life or death job, man. We're just here to have fun too.
Yeah. Now, my mom worked the front desk at Bradley Bowl, so I got to kind of see the ins and outs and sit up at the front desk. And back then, pre-computer day, where you just flip a switch to turn a lane on instead of a computer.
Yeah, you had the whole board.
Exactly. We had 44 lanes at Bradley, so that was fun. Just turn them on for league or tournaments and just flipping them on, just seeing all the lights go up down the road. Like, it's just, I miss shit like that. Like, as a kid, like I was a bowling alley rat growing up. Pretty much my whole life too. But pro shop is a different world, though. What did you think when you first walked in there?
Oh, the first thought was, I just want to learn how to drill my own stuff. That way I didn't have to ask somebody to do it.
Right.
It was all just for me. Like, I was kind of I just wanted to figure out how to do it so I could just do it myself. And that just kind of led into learning how to run the whole pro shop and learn how to rework bowling balls and resurface, sand, merchandise, obviously dust. A lot of pro shops haven't learned that yet. There's a lot of pro shops out there that don't dust. But cleaning, the owner of the center was, he was very strict about clean standards. You wanted the shop to look a certain way. You wanted it to look presentable, stock, no junk around the floors. People can walk in like a store, like an actual retail store,
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine like walking into Macy's or something like that? And, there's just like people hanging out in at the perfume aisle, just like with their buddies chatting about, oh yeah, like I really like this Drakkar. Yeah. Oh, I wish you would. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they'd kick them out and they'd fire the people. So
it's true. Pro shops were fun to hang out in, for sure. I did all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, for an average consumer, if they see a small room typically with 4 or 5 people in it and they're just all hanging out, they're not going to approach and go in. They're not welcome.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
It's like a good old boys club. And
it is a good old boys club. You're right. That's a good analogy.
I just kick people out all the time. I'm like, you need to take off.
Right.
You've been here too long.
Was it easy to learn, though? All that, all the tech stuff?
Yeah, it comes with, it's an art. A lot of the stuff back there is an art. Drilling a ball, working it out, resurfacing, plug work, matching colors, shaving a ball down after you plug it, and make it smooth and look clean and the colors match and all that stuff. It took a while to perfect, and the only way you stay sharp is if you do it all the time, So like, I drill all the time, so I drill my own stuff. I haven't fit somebody's hand. I probably fit 2 hands in the last 15 years, something like that. So that's something I don't do anymore. But people ask me to fit them all the time because they're interested in the Sarge grip or whatever, and I was just like, hey, you need to talk to your pro shop. I can't fit you over the online, and it's just like, I don't know, but yeah, it took time, and you learn the different techniques with drilling, and you just get your eyes set up. Like, if you can hit lines, that's what makes you a good ball driller, right? If you can hit the lines, but also you got to fit them too, so now it's like, I don't do the fitting. Like, I can hit lines, no problem, so, but also just the business side of it, where, you're obviously there to make money and make a living, and making it inviting for people to want to spend money with you and getting what you're worth. And that's a hard part. And I was kind of at the tail end of when the online stuff was really taking over, where we were starting to lose business to like bags and shoes and stuff like that online, where people are just, I'll just get it online. It's $20 cheaper. It's like, all right, well, I'm not going to play the matching game. Go ahead. And it's like, but if there's something wrong with the bag later, you're going to have to take it back and contact them, because like, that's part of the deal. Like, you buy it from me, I'll warranty it. If it's 5-year warranty, like, you handle it through me, I'll get it replaced, no problem. But I got out in 2010, when I took the job with Brunswick. And, I actually kept the shop and an employee for a few more years, went into a LLC, so it wasn't in my name anymore. Because back then Brunswick was corporation, was part of that, and we couldn't actually own a pro shop. It was kind of a conflict of some degree to be a rep and a customer at the same time.
True.
So, no, I like it. I love the pro shop business. I worked in that shop for, something like 8 years, something like that. And, and that helped me with the new role, being a sales rep for all the other shops that were going to be in my territory. Because, hey, I've done this before.
Sure.
Let me help you make some money. Here's the deals I can do. Here's some ideas maybe for your shop. And a lot of them are very gracious about that. It's like, hey, here's an idea. What do you think about this? Like, one that I always laughed was Dave Bowles out in Stockton. He had a lot of every shop does signage, right? And they put up, usually if they print it, they do it on a printer or whatever, and then they tape it to the whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I was like, your signs are getting wrecked like after no time. Why don't you buy a laminator? And he's like, what? I was like, go get a laminating machine from Sam's Club or Costco. They're like $20. Go buy the pouches, and then after you print it, put the little thing in there, run it through there, and now nobody can mess with your. You can put them out on tables. You can, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, he bought in with that right away. He's like, this is the best thing ever. Like, I'm saving so much money. I don't have to print new sheets all the time. The ink was killing me. Da 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 da. But just little things like that from my experience. Like, hey, like it looks nicer. It lasts longer, and just get a laminator.
Something easy like that, right? Like,
yeah,
that's good advice, man. You're a jack of all trades.
I'm crafty. What do you want?
There's nothing wrong with that. Clifton Don says cleaning the walls after a bowling party is fun. I used to inflate the bumpers that rested in the gutters. 1989. It was the pen guy, the shoe spray guy, the beer stalker. I remember the inflatable bumpers. Yeah, I was in junior leagues when that first came out. I was older. I was a teenager.
I remember when those things like sprung a leak and then the ball would just get stuck in the side, and then they had to go down and grab it anyway.
I'm trying to think what was first. Was it the inflatable bumpers, or we had like these long ass heavy like cardboard tubes?
Oh, I don't remember the tubes. We had the inflatable bumpers. I remember those pretty well. Then the retractable bumpers came out.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what year that was, but
we had like railings that you would just kind of fold out and fold back in, and now they just do it with a computer. So.
Yeah, they can even program it to come up for certain bowlers and not for the other bowlers.
Yeah,
like when
isn't that wild?
Pretty sweet. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is cool.
It is all technology is pretty sweet.
I forgot about all the stuff. He mentioned sharpening the pencils for league scoring as well. I do remember the telescores back in the day too. So
we still have them at the House of Pain.
Really? Old school.
It's all hand scoring there. Yeah, they have dedicated scorekeepers that keep score for us.
Cardboard tube, the PVC, yes, Chuck. Yeah, I don't know if those came first, or I think those were the first ones, and they were heavy as shit. We had to roll them out for the bumper league, but it's good times. Yeah, I remember all that shit. Man, I'm getting old. Fuck me. Anyways, so you got the Perception versus Reality podcast with Phil Cardinale, which is Thursdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
We normally do it Wednesdays at 3 p.m. We always tout ourselves as the number one bowling podcast on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're undisputed in that time slot.
Yes, you are.
And but yeah, we're going to be on tomorrow. Phil's got some knee things. He's got treatments on Wednesdays, so we're going to be on Thursday tomorrow at 3:00 when we talk about super symmetricals versus asymmetricals and the differences between them, when to use whatever. I don't know. He usually likes to do a little PowerPoint presentation and make it all. He likes to be all smart about it. If you got a presentation, then people make it official. It's just like if you wear a tie to work, and people think you're important.
That's right. Maybe
I'll wear a tie tomorrow. How about that?
I'm going to tune in anyway, but yeah, I would tune in just to see that. But no, it's a very good show. Check them out on YouTube. It's on the Radical Bowling channel under their live section. You also have your BrunsNick YouTube channel. How many subs you up to now?
About to hit 37,000 here soon.
Nice. Congrats. You built it up from almost nothing. You took how many years off?
Well, I started in 2006, but I didn't really use YouTube at all. Like I didn't
nobody
post.
Did, honestly,
I posted. Yeah, nobody did. Like that wasn't. You couldn't make money on it. So it was probably, I let it go dormant for probably 12 years, something like that. And I started posting some vlogs right around like 2018, somewhere in there, and tried to do a couple of reviews, but the vlogs nobody watched. They're still up there, and nobody watches them still. So if you want to not watch them, just they're up there for you not to watch. But then I took another 5 years off, and then 2023 coming up here in February. It's going to be my third year of doing it full time. Well,
that's amazing.
It's not full time, but you know what I mean.
No. That's amazing that you were able to grow from that. That's a good job, dude.
Yeah,
obviously better than Nate and Lisa's channel.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you buy all your subs and you got to pay people to like you, that's just how it goes. It's hard to compete with that,
It is. No, it is. We say that in jest. They are friends of ours, but you guys had a subfest or Subtober or some shit. You guys were having a competition last year, or was it earlier this year?
It was no, she was Nate, Elise. It's not Nate. It's always Elise.
No, it's always Elise.
Yeah, and what people don't know is actually we're really close friends. We talk all the time, and all the bickering that goes on online is all just kind of.
Oh, people think you have a true hatred, rivalry. I love to see you guys play it off, but
yeah,
for people that don't know the inside baseball, people think it's legit heat between you two, which is it's hilarious to me.
and I've helped her with her channel along the way. Like obviously we sent her balls for review and all that stuff, but. I've helped her make her videos better, either by, hey, try this with your thumbnails, try this with your title, because there was a run there where she wasn't even putting the ball name in the title. It's like, you got to put the ball name in the title. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to search it. Google's not going to index it, and you're not going to get any kind of search. No one's going to be able to find it if you don't put it in there because they're not going to rate it as important. And I showed her, I'm like, look, I can search for Columbia Pulse. And here's the list of all the people that have done Columbia Pulse videos. And guess where your video's at? I have no freaking clue because it is way down at the bottom and I'm not scrolling that far.
Right.
So and it's helped her. Obviously she does her own type of videos and they do a lot of different things on their channel. They got a lot more people. And I'm just kind of like a review educational channel, which is what I like to do. But yeah, she was chirping that they were going to catch me or whatever, and they're going to get the 33,000 subscribers first. And I was like, no, I'm going to get there, no problem. And then they passed me, and they were like at 32,940. And this is, I just looked at it the other day because I saw my spike of subscribers on July 2nd because I went live on July 2nd, and I had to get. I was only at 32.8 something, so I had to gain like 150 new subscribers to pass them. It was like a lost cause. So I went live for almost 3.5 hours, and I caught her. I got to 33,000. Then I FaceTimed her on the air. Said, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, what? I was like, she's like, are you calling me to tell me I hit 33? I'm like, no, I'm calling you to tell you I hit 33,000 and you're behind. So, no, like if I was about growth hacking and wanting to get subs, I could do giveaways. I could do all this stuff. I'd rather just people tune in and subscribe because they actually like watching the reviews, not because they're getting something out of it other than just the review. It's just all organic. And so if you want to subscribe, great. If you don't, great. Cool. I mean, most of the watchers are not subscribed anyway. It's like 66% of viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So converting that, I'm not sure. They just maybe I just have a lot of onlookers. Maybe a lot of other companies figuring out how to do a ball review properly. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt that, honestly. I mean, everyone pretty much knows who you are anyway. So, yeah, I mean, the same thing we did here. We just. No budget. We just do. I promoted myself, and we grew it to over 1,000 subs, and. Yeah. Thankful for that. I mean, it took us 4 years to do it, but bowling's a hard niche. It's a small niche. It's there's not a lot out there, especially for podcasts. Being long form and usually being an hour or hour and a half. Not a lot of people will sit there and watch that. They'll usually break it up, in a couple of days or whatever. And the shorts obviously get more traction. The ball review videos, which are shorter, is obviously more conducive to people to watch more frequently because they have a short attention span now. So I mean, it's hard to get views and subs with just a straight up podcast.
It just comes down to consistency. I mean, you guys have been consistent. You got to kind of keep the same format. I've found that you got to find your legs when it comes to any kind of content. And also it's got to be watched. Like what makes an influencer is views. That's it.
True.
You know, it's there's channels out there that have way more subs than I do, but get a lot more view, or a lot less views. You know, how does that work out, right? It's like you should have all these subscribers that are invested in your channel, but maybe they took some shortcuts to get there. Maybe, I don't know. It's just I'd rather just do the same thing over and over again, and if it works, I'm going to keep that formula. And if it doesn't work, and if it shows that it's fallen off, then I'm going to change. Like I've made adjustments over the years, and I've stopped doing certain videos that I like to do sometimes, but nobody was watching them, so I stopped doing them. Like ultimately your viewership's going to tell you what your channel is. Mm-hmm. I've had this discussion with other influencers. It's like, hey, I know back in the day you were very good at reviews. People were watching reviews, but now the landscape's changed. There's a lot more reviewers out there and a lot more options to watch it. Now your views are down, but whenever you do education, your views are going way up. Mm-hmm. Like, you're a coaching channel, dude. Like, do more of that. If you want to incorporate the new balls, go for it. But make it part of education and coaching, because that's what people are tuning in for now. If people can learn how to bowl and learn from you, they're going to come back and watch your channel more.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can watch a pro or anybody throw strikes, with a new ball. But yeah, if you tell them how, or put some science behind it, then I absolutely agree. A lot of people love Ryan Burkhouse here says, I enjoy the knowledge. So, I mean, that's why I tune into channels like that. And I can watch Belmo throw the fate 300 times and strike every time. What am I learning from that?
I don't know. What are you learning?
Nothing against Belmo. I love Belmo, but I mean, you know what I mean?
But like, it's like, a lot of the pros, like, they could probably be semi-successful with doing videos. Unfortunately, that a lot of them don't know how to create a video or edit a video, or some of them, like I've always said, like, not everybody's made for the front of the camera. It's like some guys are just really good at bowling, and that's just what they want to do, and that's fine. But anybody, like you said, anybody can watch the pro bowl and strike. It's like, how impressive is that now? It's like, no, we need something more. We need a little more depth. We need personality. We need education. All that stuff comes in. It's like, I'm not the best bowler out there. I'm a nobody when it comes to bowling, but I have the gift of gab, and I know how to talk ball reaction, and I know how to talk the numbers, and I got that inside source because, hey, I'm at Brunswick HQ. I'm a freaking, I'm a shill. Shill right Nick. Here.
I love it.
It's like that was fan. What do you want to call it?
Fan made.
Some dude on, was this YouTube? Yeah, some dude on YouTube called me Shills Nick. I was like, that's awesome. I'm gonna make a shirt. Thanks.
That is awesome. We'll do one final question here. The Mitchman 7 wants to know, besides viewers and subs, how does Nick decide which influencer gets the balls to do reviews? Easy for me to say.
I mean, it's essentially viewership, who's getting views, subscribers are one thing, and also consistency. Like we look for established channels. We're not looking to build somebody from scratch, because there's no basis on what to go off of. Like, hey, I want to do a YouTube channel. It's like, okay, do it. Show us what you can do. And then that's how it works. It's like, we don't just send you balls and then say, okay, I go make some videos and see how it goes. It's like, no, it's like, we need to know what we're sending balls for. We need to be entertained by you. If nobody's watching your videos, then why should you get bowling balls?
Yeah.
That's it. If you can't get viewership, that's it. Like, subscribers, one thing. Like, it could be a new channel, and I would still be interested if the videos were good. I felt like the personalities were good, and I felt like the overall presentation was good. So, and then you got to be consistent at it. You got to do it all the time. Like, a lot of people have burnt out doing this. So yeah, BrunsNick, that's the other one. That was the first one on Reddit. Somebody called me BrunsNick. I got my haters. It's all good.
Of course. I mean, we all do, obviously, but I mean, look at channels like the Bone Legacy. What Justin does with that channel is good. Like, I love watching him and his dad go at it, and just, seeing Parker talk shit like he does. Like, the nicest guy in the world, but when he gets on the lanes, he's a piranha, man. He's a predator. But they have fun stuff.
Parker's great on camera.
He really is. Yeah, he's a pro.
He was always fun to work with. When we had him on any kind of video, he was the guy. He was basically the face of Brunswick for videos.
Yeah.
He had that aura about him. He had that kind of, he knew where the camera presence was, and he knew how to kind of ham it up.
He's Joe Cool. Like, he's a
showman.
He is.
But you're right. He is a piranha on the lane, and I got to work with Parker a lot as a sales rep. Take him around and do seminars and spend a lot of time on the road. And I've seen sides of Parker, that are a lot different than what the public sees. And he's just a regular dude, and he's got regular frustrations like we all have, and he just goes about it along. Yeah. I got a couple of pictures of him passed out in the truck sleeping.
No shit.
I got the picture somewhere on my Facebook, but just for spoiler out there for everybody still watching, he is an ugly sleeper. Let me tell you that much.
That's one thing I didn't know about Parker. You might pay for that one. Literally the nicest guy you could ever meet, though. Like people say all the time, like, we give you the shirt off his back. Like, no, like he's a true ambassador for Brunswick. It's hard to get Brunswick and BrunsNick. It's so easy to get that confused. You did a great job marketing, by the way.
Yeah, you suck at that.
Yeah, I do. Nice callback.
The best thing about traveling with Parker is, one, he loves to eat, and two, he loves ice cream. Like ice cream, like anytime we passed by anything that had ice cream on the road after we ate, it's like, hey, you want ice cream? He's like, of course I want ice cream. I was like, all right. We're going to Dairy Queen. All right, we're going to here. We're going here. I'm like, hey, I got this new place. You want to try it? He's like, yes, I do.
Yeah, he stopped by Nashville when he was moving Sydney into Vanderbilt last year, and we went out for barbecue. But yeah, he likes to eat.
He's big with him too. Yeah,
barbecue and sweet tea. He was loving that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, no, he's a super cool. The whole family's great. Like, you want to talk about like the royal bowling family, honestly.
Pedigree, yeah.
And they're all good. Like, from husband to wife to all the kids. It's just amazing. They're an amazing family. I do have one last segment I want to involve you in. It's going to be the return of the imbecile of the week.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment.
If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer.
Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Here's the imbecile of the week.
Some people are really stupid.
We haven't done this segment in quite a while, but I have been meaning to bring it back because, content. This week's post was from Jason Belmonte, who was named number one player in the last 25 years. He said, to be named the greatest player of the last 25 years is truly an honor. I have made more sacrifices and endured more than most will know to leave my family, my friends, and my home country to chase my dream. I can honestly say, though, it was worth it. To my fans who have supported me through my career since my rookie season, thank you. I truly have the best fans in bowling. To my haters, thank you also. Each time you've tried to pull me down, it's driven me just that little bit more. You have helped me do what I've done more than you know. Obviously, rolling through the comments, you're going to find some of the haters, and we will let you, BrunsNick, determine who is this week's imbecile of the week. Joe Shepard, I vote Norm Duke. I'm glad he didn't have a say in that. Connie DeBaca Stoner, he's not a bowler.
Well, automatically, I can't vote for that one. I got a Dodger jersey on, so.
Oh, come on, dude, really? All right, that's fair. That's fair. It's within the rules. Ellie Funk says, congratulations on being the greatest two-handed bowler.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, Ken Hasney says, fucking joke. Nice. Looks like a granddad with his granddaughter in his profile picture. If he's not a bowler, though, what is he?
I mean, he's a freak of nature, basically.
He literally two-handed.
He wasn't the first. He wasn't the first two-hander that tried to go on tour. He's
just the one that won, 57 titles or whatever. So I mean,
he was just the best at it, and he had an unbelievable run, and he's still in contention to win every single week.
Every single week.
So yeah, I mean, props to him. I don't get that whole getting mad at being a two-hander thing and saying that's not real bowling. He's not a real bowler.
He still releases the ball with one hand like everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's a skill, and not everybody can do it. They have an option to try it. There's people that have tried it and converted.
Yeah.
So, if you're athletic enough, you can do it. But for some of the commenters that maybe are a few too many winters under their belt, that, I can see why that would be mad, and it's probably the same commenters on the string pins, it's the same people. So I don't know. Anybody that says two-handed is not bowling, I think they're all imbeciles, I guess, right?
All right. Well, I guess just by process of elimination, Ellie Funk, congratulations on being this week's Imbecile of the Week. It's a title that is bestowed to few, but enjoy it well and wear it as a badge of honor or dishonor for the rest of your life. Nick, I appreciate you being here, brother. We can follow you everywhere. BrunsNick on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Just, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at BrunsNick.
And obviously check out the aforementioned Perception versus Reality podcast with Phil Cardinale, which is going to be on tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Follow them on the Radical Bowling YouTube channel. And dude, I appreciate you being here, man. It was a really, really cool conversation. I honestly learned a lot of things that I did not know. You were a super knowledgeable guy, and I could absolutely see why you're one of the big faces of Brunswick. So I do wish you continued success with the various brands, being the digital media manager, and continued success on your YouTube channel and your TikTok. I totally appreciate you being here, man.
I'll keep up the consistent grind, go back to my cube in the morning and start fresh with a Dr. Pepper and a protein bar to kick off the day, and fajitas at lunch. I'm very good on consistency in everything I try to do,
And
so
you're still skinny. Dr. Pepper, and I'm jealous. I look at a Dr. Pepper and I gained 5 pounds.
It's all about control, man. Just portion control, right? Like another thing I've been doing, and I don't know if you ever tried it, but I started fasting when I got back from Montana in October. And I was up to like 193 change, something like that. And that's pretty big for me. Like the highest I've ever been is like 198. That was back when we had this barbecue place in town that was so good. I ate there like 2-3 times a week. And I was like, why am I getting bigger? I don't get it.
Right.
But I started fasting, only giving myself at first an 8-hour window to do, and I was trying to eat more reasonable and all that stuff. And then I was doing like 20-hour fasts, and I was just shedding weight and just eating whatever I wanted in that time slot. So I'd get all my proteins, I'd get all the Dr. Pepper I wanted, and I drank a lot of water. That's all I had in the other 20-hour window, and I lost 13 pounds in about a month. Wow. Just fasting and eating whatever I want. And now I've kind of flatlined at 180. And so now I'm going to my goal was 175 to try to get there with fasting alone. And I've kind of hit the bottom, I think. So I'm going to have to start exercising now if I want to get down another weight class.
Yeah, you poor bastard. You got to start exercising. That
sucks.
It does suck. I did it I started January this year, and I was going to the gym every week. I got laid off in July, and I'm like, I'm just going to sit home and eat fucking cheeseburgers all day. But,
it's a dynamite plan, but if you did it only in a 4-hour window, you'd be fine.
I may have to actually, no, legit, I may have to actually look into that because were you miserable the other hours, or like obviously sleeping is part of that too?
You get used to, sleeping's part of it, but you get used to it.
Yeah,
and like once you, it's all about rewiring your brain at that point.
Of course,
because obviously like your brain's been wired to be like, hey, I need this other soda, I need another burger. I'm hungry right now. It's like, nah, dude, it's like, imagine like your forefathers, 1,000, 10,000 years ago, they got to eat once in a day or two, and that was it. Like they didn't wake up and be like, man, I want some eggs. I want bacon. It's like no, it's like that's not how it's supposed to be.
I'm going to Hardee's. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Once you get past like that hump, and then you retrain your brain, like I'm not hungry, just drink some water, and then you're like, okay, I can go another couple hours, and then finally like you kind of ease into the whatever you're going to eat. But it really does work, and just monitor your body, what it's asking for, and just like, am I really that hungry, or is this like my brain begging for something right now? And oftentimes it was that.
Yeah, and Leno was on here. He's like, sugar is one of the most, if not the most addictive substance, in the world. And as long as you get that out of your body, I think he said it took like 3 days or 4 days to get out of your system. And then after that, you're just, your body gets used to not having it. So,
yeah, that's a big one is sugar, and that's always been my vice. And I'm sure you too as well, because sugar's awesome, but they say it's toxic. And, if you keep feeding your body sugar, then your body's not going to feed on any of the visceral fat that you have. You know, like I got a stomach, you know, you got a little bit of stomach too. So that's never going to go away if you keep feeding it sugar. If you take away some of that sugar and take away some of that carbs, and that's what fasting does. Like after like 16 hours, your body starts eating yourself, basically all the reserves you built up, and you start just losing it. And I noticed it right away. People noticed it on my videos. Like I didn't say anything I was doing on anything. And then I started getting a couple of comments about, hey, you look trimmer, especially in the face and all that. Cause yeah, I'm not pigging out all day. I was a boredom eater, you know, and I'd have 3-4 Dr. Peppers a day. And, you know, I was maintaining like 190 to 193, but like I was chubby. I was a little bit chubby. Yeah. So I didn't like how I looked on camera. So this is my Hollywood version of, you know, Trim Spa, baby.
Trim Spa. I remember that. That's good advice, man. I appreciate that. What can't BrunsNick do? You're just a wealth of knowledge, man. I do appreciate you.
I can't pry it off my hand in the 9th frame. I can tell you that much.
That's fair. Yeah. It cost you that 300. Yeah.
It's all right. We're throwing danger zones tomorrow night.
Ooh, 2 new danger zones, right? Man, they look sweet. I heard there might be another old school release. I was sworn by somebody not to say it, but it maybe of an orange color. I'm just going to throw that out there. But
it's always potential.
I'm looking forward to new releases coming out. But all right, dude, I appreciate you. And we appreciate everybody here in our chat. Still 34 strong here at the hour 45 mark. That's that's the pulling power of BrunsNick. So it has nothing to do with me. It's all him. But, again, man, appreciate being here. And we'll see you guys next week for another edition of Straight Up 5 right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question? Send your questions to straightUp5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5. Right here